Breaking news, the Dallas Stars have fired their head coach, Pete DeBoer. Pete DeBoer just led the Stars to a third straight conference final, but he fell short of a cup final all 3 years. And he also very publicly ripped his starting goalie, Jake Oettinger, who's in year one of an 8-year contract. Which of those factors do you feel played a bigger role in him losing his job?
Obviously, I think it's how he handled Jake Oettinger, especially in Game 5 against the Edmonton Oilers in the conference finals. And look, that is one thing. You pull your goalie at 2-0. I want to say embarrassed him, because Jake Oettinger actually used words like it was embarrassing. I wanted to go and lay under my bed type of situation. But it was an angry pull, the way that he did it. So that would have a conversation. But what happened 48 hours later on that Saturday morning when Pete DeBoer met the media and he said, I was thinking of not playing him in Game 4 and giving him a rest, and he was getting tired, and I haven't talked to him. The fact that your head coach, 48 hours later, after a controversial poll in an elimination game, still hadn't had a conversation with the guy, one of the best goaltenders in the National Hockey League, a young goaltender that is going to be there for the next 8 years, leading the way for the Dallas Stars, and you still haven't gotten that conversation. It felt to me like this was going all wrong. And I get it. Pete DeBoer has been tough with goalies before. We remember Marc-Andre Fleury and the Alan Walsh release picture of the dagger and the DeBoer dagger in the back of Fleury. But you have to learn from that. And from what I'm seeing the outside, Pete DeBoer didn't learn from the experience in Vegas. They moved on from Pete DeBoer a year after Marc-Andre Fleury. It went nice for DeBoer. He's a great coach. But this was I am fumbling all over myself, and I'm going to continue that way. It's just one thing after another that didn't make sense to me and led to him getting fired.
Okay, Marty, here's the question for you. You played in this league. You've had your conflicts with coaches. There's no surprise that coaches and their goaltenders don't always get along. Is the issue here not so much what DeBoer said, but the fact that he said it publicly instead of behind closed doors to his assistant coach, his head goalie coach, or to Jake Oettinger himself? Is it the public nature of this that led to this disaster?
I think the public nature of it probably brought the awareness to the rest of the NHL and the rest of the world that, I think there's a vote of no confidence here for Pete DeBoer to Jake Oettinger. And if you're going to go for 8 more years at over $8 million with your goaltender, you better have full confidence, 100% confidence that this guy is the guy that can not only play you 60 games in the regular season, but play every single games in the playoffs and lead you to a Stanley Cup final and a Stanley Cup win. So look around the National Hockey League, right? The best goaltenders. Connor Hellebuck in Winnipeg. Did he have the best first round against the St. Louis Blues? Absolutely not. But was there that confidence from Scott Arniel to say, he's my guy, I'm sticking with him? 100%. Maybe it was, internal, they had the debate, but externally it was, no, he's my guy, I'm sticking with him. And that goes a long way. And so I feel that this no confidence approach from Pete DeBoer to Jake Oettinger publicly led to all the talking. And now there's, going to be internal meetings. And I feel like that put it over the top. Now you can have you should have internal conversation about everybody and every situation. But to take it publicly, I feel like that led to the firing.
Okay, looking ahead now, Pete DeBoer is an amazing coach, no doubt about it. 6 conference finals in the last 7 years, 2 cup finals in 12 and then in 16. So he's going to find a new job somewhere. But if you're a star player or especially a star goaltender on a team looking for a new coach, are you worried that your GM may possibly bring this guy in and what that could mean to you?
If I'm a star goalie, I'm a little worried. Why do I say that? Because I feel like coaches that are hard on goalies never learn. Now, I get it. You can adjust a little bit, but I think Alain Vigneault, for example. Like Alain Vigneault, I had him in juniors, and he's a really, really good coach. And he's a great guy. Like I had zero issues with Alain Vigneault, the way that he coached, the way that he set his systems off the ice and all that. He didn't handle his goaltenders right. Like you go back to Vancouver with Roberto Luongo and Corey Schneider, and there was a lot going on there. And then I remember I was with him in New York, and there was he was hard on me as a backup. And I only lasted a month. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm retiring. I can't do this anymore. But there is, handling Lundqvist and moving forward. And I feel like it stays with you. Now, should Alain Vigneault be just, look in that light as a tough goalie coach? No, he's much better than that. And he has a lot of other things. Pete DeBoer is the same way. Pete DeBoer should not just be looked at, he's a tough coach for goalies. He's much better than that. But if he's going to be getting a job somewhere else, and he will, because he's that good of a coach, I think that the first thing as a goalie, you're going to look around, you're going to say, like this is going to be a bit rocky at the start. So if Pete DeBoer gets another job, the number one priority is to have this communication, this confidence, this relationship with the goaltender to make sure that it's going to go the right way. Because now the last two jobs that he's had, it's gone the wrong way with the goalies that he's had. So I think that's the way you got to work on. And listen, I don't want to, Alain Vigneault was great and he had tons of success. I'm just using my personal experience here. But that's the way other goalies are going to think about Pete DeBoer coming in.
Look, we don't know where he's going to end up, but we know he's going to work again, and we know two things for sure. Somewhere there's a starting goalie going, please don't bring him here. Please don't bring him here. And elsewhere, there's a general manager saying, I don't care what his relationship's like with my goalie. I want to win. And Pete DeBoer wins.